The sky is falling. Chinese traders lament as U.S. tariffs reach 125%. Brothers, the sky is truly falling the moment we open our eyes in the morning. This is how many Chinese entrepreneurs are describing their situation after hearing the latest tariff updates. The U.S. has raised tariffs on Chinese goods to an unprecedented 125%, and many say this marks the end of an era for China's cross-border trade. Some traders admit that for China's state-backed industrial giants, the impact might be limited. Those sectors have been operating on razor-thin margins for years. But for small and medium-sized businesses doing cross-border e-commerce, the shock is devastating. Previously, small parcels under $800 were exempt from tariffs under the USST 8U policy. But now, not only are these packages taxed, they also face customs clearance procedures, adding delays and costs. What used to take a week to ship to the U.S. now takes 2 weeks, sometimes even a month. And that's only if the package gets through customs. Our company just announced the new tariffs today. The moment I walked outside, I saw many businesses already preparing to shut down. One trader reported, "Our boss was frowning all day. Our cost structure can't handle this anymore. A 34% tariff already made us struggle. Now it's over." At Guangzhou's Baiyun Airport, traders boarding outbound flights are discussing how this tariff wave is reshaping the entire business landscape. "Look around," one of them said. "Not many Chinese faces here anymore, mostly African buyers." This shows how much cross-border trade with the U.S. has collapsed. Another entrepreneur shared his story. "My American client just canceled 2 full containers worth of orders. April was supposed to be a good month, a fresh start. Now there's nothing, no orders." The Trump administration pushed for reciprocal tariffs, and now, under the latest escalation, it's not just the U.S. Europe, Japan, South Korea, Russia, even Vietnam and African countries have all raised tariffs on Chinese goods. Countries are especially targeting our labor-intensive products like apparel, electronics, and home goods. China's traditional export pathways are being blocked one by one. Shenzhen has become a graveyard of businesses. A cross-border e-commerce company that managed to survive 6 months last year finally collapsed today. All the office furniture still looks brand new. As of April 1st, duty-free shipping channels under $800 have been permanently closed. Traders are left scrambling. "You want to do cross-border business? Better stick to Southeast Asia. The profits are small, but at least it's stable," one business owner said. But even Southeast Asia isn't ideal. People say, "You only do Southeast Asia when you can't survive in China." Now it's true, we couldn't survive. The bigger problem is that bulk trade goods have profit margins of only 13%. And after adding shipping and logistics costs, it goes up to maybe 16%. A 125% tariff is completely unaffordable. "That's not a cut, it's a death sentence," one person said. Some traders are trying to reroute shipments through third-party countries to avoid tariffs, using transit warehouses. But the methods are limited and costly. There are countermeasures, but they're temporary band-aids, not real solutions. The chain reaction is immense. Factories that used to export are now desperately pivoting to domestic sales, but the domestic market is already saturated and slowing. When the factories all rush to sell domestically, they roll into the same brutal competition, and everyone gets crushed together. A foreign trade worker said, "We used to feel confident, like foreign trade loans and orders were a point of pride. But now, 125% tariffs are no joke. There might still be some orders, but the profits are gone. It's survival, not growth." Even garment factories, a staple of China's export economy, are suffering. A video recently showed workers frantically moving unsold goods. A blogger wrote, "The wave of unemployment has hit the garment industry. More than 60,000 down jackets are stuck in warehouses. Domestic offline sales are sluggish, and even live streaming sales can't move inventory. Foreign orders have dried up, and now everyone is competing for limited domestic sales, increasing overcapacity and risking total industry collapse." As one trader concluded, "People think if you made money before, you'll keep making money, but that's a fantasy. There are factories that haven't received a single container order for months. Workers are running around just trying to survive. The whole ecosystem is breaking." This isn't just fear, it's a real crisis, deeper than what China faced during the pandemic. As tariffs pile up and the global trade environment turns hostile, Chinese businesses across the board, from exporters to e-commerce sellers, are staring into an uncertain future. Many people may die this year, says a mainland Chinese blogger. This is not sensationalism. The COVID-19 and influenza epidemics in mainland China have intensified. A lot of information from the public shows that hospitals are now full, crematoriums have queues, and new graves in rural areas have increased sharply. Chinese Communist Party officials are hiding the truth. Recently, a mainland blogger lamented that many people may die this year, and I am not exaggerating. This resonated with netizens, and there was a lot of lamentation in the comment section. Many people may die this year, and I am not exaggerating. The mainland social media platform Douyin blogger, brother Biao Xiaoliji, released a video on the 7th and said bluntly, "Many people may die this year, and I am not exaggerating. Maybe you are among them." The blogger said he found that recent deaths are getting younger and younger. Not only the elderly are dying. The blogger said that a fan sister in Shanghai lost her father and father-in-law one after another over the past 2 years. And her husband also died a month or two ago, leaving a lot of debt. The sister was particularly emotional and felt that more and more people seem to be dying recently. Comments lamented group deaths. More than 10 people died in a Hunan village within 15 days. Hunan netizens. During the Chinese New Year period, from the 1st to the 15th day, more than a dozen people died in our village, age 30 plus to 50 plus, and at least 50 to 60 plus people died on the streets of the town where my uncle lives. Shandong netizens. It's true that several friends around me have passed away. Some died suddenly due to myocardial infarction, some from cancer, but those who passed were all well off and wealthy. Guizhou netizens. It's not an illusion, it's a fact. 4 people around me passed away at once. All were in their 60s, not old, and all were in good condition. Guangdong netizens. In recent years, several people born in the 1970s and 1980s in our village have also died, most of them from cancer. Yunnan netizens. Indeed. I went to the cemetery to visit graves 2 days ago. I hadn't been there for just half a year, and there are almost 200 more tombstones. I sighed. It's a bit outrageous. Anhui netizens. My mother and elder brother both died suddenly, and I don't know the cause. Now I tremble with fear all day long. Hebei, Guangxi, and Zhejiang netizens. Brother Biao's feeling is right. There have been many deaths in recent years. Not just many. It was worse from May to August. The era of death will begin in 2025, and it will increase year by year, while the number of births will decrease. On April 9th, blogger Guo Guo released a video message stating that 16 people died suddenly in Shenzhen within 11 days, many of whom were young and middle-aged people in their 20s and 30s. On average, there were about 1.5 abnormal deaths per day. Sudden deaths mainly affected people aged 30 to 40, with the youngest being only 22 years old. Mr. Li, a villager in Zhoukou, Henan, recently told overseas media, "There are many people with colds, runny noses, and fevers, one after another, and the hospital is overwhelmed. There are waves of deaths, pneumonia, myocardial infarction, cerebral infarction. Many people in their 30s and 40s die suddenly. They just disappear inexplicably. They can't afford cremation, so they bury them secretly. People are dying every day, all young people." Many netizens questioned whether it was caused by the new coronavirus, CCP virus. It's just a variant of the new coronavirus renamed as Influenza A. This year's Influenza A virus feels like it has hybridized with genetic fragments of the novel coronavirus. The symptoms are very similar, and it is also very lethal. It's just that the coronavirus has mutated. My symptoms a few days ago were the same as in previous years. I was cold all over. Variants of COVID-19 continue to spread in China, but the authorities are covering it up. Recent data from the CCP's CDC shows the positive rate of the novel coronavirus is rising again, especially in the north. Sudden deaths are increasingly common, affecting both the elderly and younger people. Hospitals and funeral homes are overwhelmed, and some regions have stopped enforcing cremation due to overload. New graves are appearing across rural mountainous areas. American virology expert Lin Xiaoxu told China Watch that COVID-19 variants never truly stopped circulating in China. He cited a study by the Chinese Academy of Sciences and Beijing Ditan Hospital showing infection peaks occurred from April to October 2023, and again from April to July 2024 after lockdowns were lifted. The CCP never disclosed how many were infected or died. They chose to hide the real data, Lin said. He warned that another wave in 2025 is likely. More concerning, however, is the rise of human cases of avian influenza.
Recently, a female student who graduated from law school in China cried and complained that her monthly salary was 2,500 yuan, but her social security would be deducted by 1,800 yuan, and her daily salary was only a little over 30 yuan. After deducting living expenses, she was losing money every day. The girl collapsed and said, "I can't survive anymore," which resonated with netizens. On April 3rd, a video circulated online showed that a female college student who graduated from the law department cried and complained, "I just got off work, and my boss told me that my social security was deducted from my salary. The original salary of 2,500 yuan was deducted by 1,800 yuan for social security, leaving only 700 yuan. The daily salary was only a little over 30 yuan. She explained that the reason for paying Social Security is that in order to obtain a trainee lawyer certificate, you must have a record of paying Social Security. If you don't pay Social Security, you can't become a trainee lawyer. If you can't become a trainee lawyer, you can't become a professional lawyer. I have to pay 6 yuan for the subway to go to work every day, and then it's equivalent to 12 yuan for the subway every day. I have to eat, so I pay to go to work every day." The girl said that law students must have experience to be legal affairs of a company, and the competition for civil service exams is also fierce. You have to be a graduate student to become a judge or prosecutor. If you work in a law firm, you will be like me, unable to pay Social Security and even unable to hang up your certificate. She cried and said, "Nowadays, law students are so pitiful. I still rely on the money I used to make as a tutor and the money my grandparents gave me. Otherwise, how can I survive? I don't have a penny, and I have to work every day." The employment experience of this female law student resonated with mainland netizens. Some netizens said, "What you have experienced is what we have all experienced. Just stick to it. If you can't stand it, change your career as soon as possible." Don't cry, kid, you will get used to it slowly. Everyone is a cow or a horse. Lawyers and finance majors who don't have family support really shouldn't study. Medical students are even worse. They are really not human. How can these newly graduated children survive? In recent years, China's economy has continued to decline, and the employment environment has become increasingly worse. Thousands of college students cannot find suitable jobs and are forced to lie down and give up. On October 30th, 2024, a law graduate posted a video saying that he went to a law firm to find a job. The salary was only 1,200 yuan, and he had to work every day, and even such a job may not be available. There are also female college students who said that the employment rate of law students in their university is the lowest. Many law students said that in order to survive, they can only change their careers to do other jobs. Don't mention it. I became a technician as soon as I graduated from law school. A 24-year-old graduate went to work in a factory as a researcher, and now he has quit and stays at home.
Guangzhou, once a bustling city and the heart of China's top manufacturing region, is now in a state of almost unrecognizable decline. Bustling streets and once crowded shopping malls are deserted. The region's once powerful economy is facing challenges ranging from a slump in manufacturing to widespread business closures. Guangzhou, once a symbol of development, is now left with only traces of its glory days. Let's explore this issue in today's China in Focus program. What are you doing here? Today I came to visit my factory again. I built this factory in April 2015. Last year it went bankrupt, and I didn't have the courage to return and look at the old factory. At its peak, I had more than 20,000 square meters here. This was the old Guangzhou production base, where more than 380 people worked. The journey was not easy. This is also where I started my business in Foshan, Guangzhou. This is where I made the most money. It's really heartbreaking. Anyway, now that everything is bankrupt, there's no point in saying anything. I just want to go back and see the old factory, where there were dreams, where there was effort. The current situation in Guangzhou, you may not believe it after hearing it. Many large companies are cutting staff, and layoffs are happening everywhere. Many small companies are on the brink of bankruptcy and are losing money. Every day, I see many business owners with credit reports, either bad credit, wasteful spending, or debt. Many physical stores are trying to survive, but only a few are actually making money, like Starbucks or KFC. Inside, there are many middle-aged people pretending to go to work. The real estate industry and related sectors are even worse. Houses cannot be sold, and only state-owned enterprises buy land. They hold land but have nothing to do with it. The construction industry is even worse. In the secondary housing market, unless sellers take a huge loss, no one will even come to see the house. Many people even have to tear down old walls to patch up debts, struggling to stay afloat. To keep their businesses running, they max out credit cards, borrow from small lenders, and take out online loans. It's not that people don't dare to spend. They simply have no money to spend. I ran away. I brought a watch worth more than 100,000 yuan, a shirt worth more than 10,000 yuan, and 25,000 yuan in cash. I ran away. If your life is difficult, stop and listen to my story. You will definitely feel something. 3 years ago, I was a billionaire, a famous local businessman, and the chairman of Chenlin Group. Unfortunately, today, I appear before you as a failure. Now, I am no longer glamorous. I have sold all my assets, but still owe tens of millions of yuan. In the past 3 years, I have never experienced life as difficult as this. I cannot bear the debt collection from creditors, but the worst thing is that I cannot bear the passing of my parents. As a boss of the 8X generation, I once had a golden age. I owned many companies, a private factory of more than 20,000 square meters in Foshan, a mold factory of more than 6,000 square meters in Shenzhen, and an e-commerce base of more than 7,000 square meters in Guangzhou. But I destroyed them all with my own hands. After returning to Guangzhou after the Chinese New Year, I no longer go out for a walk at night. Today, after dinner, I took my child out for a walk. When I passed a residential area, I found that many shops were closed. I remember a few years ago when I moved here. This area was very busy, day and night, especially at night. There used to be many night food stalls in this area. But now, it's the same as the night market. Many shops are closed, quiet, and empty. This street is really deserted. Do people no longer eat late-night food? No longer go out for a walk at night? There are almost no people walking around. Even the big restaurants near the main street have closed. Small eateries and nail salons have also closed. Is business really that difficult this year? Jobs are hard to find, and running a business is not easy. Has everyone gone back to their hometowns to seek opportunities? No, it's just really too difficult now. You may not believe the current situation in Guangzhou. Look at how many shops have closed. Many businesses are cutting salaries and revenue. Small companies are losing money or are financially unstable. Many factories in this city shut down. You can see that the shops on the street are no longer being rented. Buildings are also lowering prices to attract customers. Many university graduates still cannot find jobs. Business owners have to move money around every month to avoid bankruptcy. Every month, they have to rely on credit cards to maintain expenses. When it comes time to pay salaries, if they spend just a little more, it might not even be enough to cover the rent. Nowadays, it's not that people don't want to spend, it's that they have no money in their pockets. For young people today, having no savings or debt is already considered good. Even the lending industry is struggling. You see, even though the pandemic has been over for a long time, why is everything getting more and more difficult? So now, no one really spends money lavishly anymore. We have to learn to save. Everyone, look at why the Panyu area in Guangzhou is so deserted. Most of the shops are closed, and there are few people walking down the street. I remember when I was in high school and came here, this area was very bustling. Now most of the shops are closed, and there is no one walking down the street. Maybe business is not going well anymore. I wonder if the economic recession has caused people to migrate to other cities. In addition, the Wanbei area, which is Wanda Panyu, might have attracted people since almost every area has a Wanda center. Look, many shops are closed, and there are very few people walking down the street, nothing like before. In 2013 and 2014, oh my God, it was really crowded, but now... Also, if you go outside the downtown area without any work, almost no one comes here. Now I see that many companies are the same. There are very few job openings here. In 2024, China's economic situation is worsening, and many companies and factories have to close early or send workers home for a long Lunar New Year holiday. Recently, at the intersection of Shangxiaju, the situation is not looking good. The once beautiful street corners are now empty. This area used to be filled with clothing stores and high-end goods, but now most of them have become warehouses for men's clothing stores or product displays. Cheap clothing stores now dominate here, and many famous brands have disappeared. Previously, shop rents could go up to 12 million per month, but now they have dropped to an unbelievable level, down by 80%. Men's clothing stores are now renting at a very low price, only about 20% of what they used to be. A shop at number 95 on this street used to be Guangzhou's first ramen shop, with a rent of up to 50,000 at that time, but now it is only 2,000 to 3,000. This was once a very developed area with many famous merchants and large stores. However, the current situation is bleak. Many stores have closed, and real estate values have plummeted. The items here are mainly cheap, and almost no one buys them anymore. To show Guangzhou's decline, a vlogger took viewers on a tour of one of the busiest and most touristy streets in the city. The scene was heartbreaking. Hello everyone, I am Mu Shui. After many years, I came to Guangzhou's Xiajiulu pedestrian street again today. Seeing the scene before my eyes, I was really stunned. There were fewer people walking around, and the shops were all closed. Xiajiulu has completely changed. People often say that e-commerce has defeated traditional stores. In reality, it is due to the economic recession and the decline in the immigrant population. The sky-high rents became the last straw, pushing traditional stores into a difficult situation. This used to be a bustling area, attracting many tourists and shoppers. Seeing the current state, one cannot help but feel regretful. This is Guangzhou's Wanda Bun Street, which was once lively but is now struggling. Most of the shops here are closed or rented out. Although this street used to be crowded, now the number of people passing by is no more than 10. Many stores, despite cutting prices in half, still cannot find tenants. Doing business this year is really tough. There are even stores that once cost millions to buy, but now they can only be rented at very low prices. Yet still, no one is interested. A restaurant owner in Guangzhou lamented the hardships he has faced over the past 2 years. He even said that business in 2024 will be more difficult than during the 2 years of the pandemic. Guangzhou has become so quiet now. Before, I could earn 2 to 3 days' wages in a single day, but now I only make a few hundred yuan a day. Where have all the people gone? Don't they need to eat? I don't know if you've noticed, but business this year is even harder than during the 3 years of the pandemic. Every industry is struggling. How miserable are the Chinese people living? The stories below also give us a panoramic view of the ordinary working class in China. These people account for 40 to 50% of the Chinese population. They are struggling with a hard life and do not have any support from the Chinese Communist Party government. In Nanjing, a divorced woman raised 3 children by herself. In order to earn living expenses, she tied her son to her body and sold fried rice at a construction site. Her name is Fei Fei, and she is a child who grew up in her father's takeaway truck. Dad takes her with him to deliver food every day, no matter if it rains or winds. Dad tells himself every day to drive slower and to bring Fei Fei home safely at night. When he meets a client who lives in a high-rise building, his father always carries Fei Fei upstairs. When he meets a client who lives on the ground floor, his father asks Feifei to wait by the car. After taking a few steps, his father looks back to make sure that Feifei is safe. Feifei learned to cook and wash clothes by herself at a young age. It is true that a poor child has become the master of the family. Netizens were very distressed after seeing this. Someone wants to adopt her. Some people are angry and think it is a tragedy of the times. She is 19 years old. Due to family difficulties, she had to drop out of school and help her mother sell sesame seeds on the street. She gets up at 3 o'clock every day and works 12 hours. She said she also envies her peers who can go out and play, but she has no choice. She said she has no dreams. When asked, if you get married in the future, will you come back to help your mother? With tears on her face, she nodded and said, yes. Her mother revealed that she had divorced her husband and was raising her 2 daughters alone. One daughter is disabled and has to be taken with her wherever she goes. She said that her daughter feels distressed when she comes out to work at such a young age, but she has to do whatever she can to help her. Her only wish is to raise her 2 daughters. Difficult living conditions are not the biggest difficulty for these people struggling at the bottom. In order to increase her income, the mother of 3 in Nanjing wanted to run a night market at night. But the first time she went, the table was confiscated, and she was asked not to sell fried rice again. With her livelihood cut off, she was sent to the hospital in a panic. The poor child cried loudly as he watched his mother being carried away. China's economy is sluggish, and many people are in trouble and struggling to survive. A large number of college students are unemployed after graduation and live on the streets. Many young women even sleep in bridge caves, but are evicted. The most realistic scenes of the Chinese people's survival make people cry.